you're trying to handle all your stuff by yourself. How's that going for you? If I can't lead at my house, then I couldn't lead at the fire station, which I can't be a leader in this community.
Yeah,
right.
That's right.
For me, a leader is someone who's not scared to fail and admit that they failed and show their flaws in front of their men.
You're listening to the Limitless Leadership Podcast, the podcast designed to help automotive repair shops learn how to lead, coach, train, and manage their team better by sharing proven techniques and thought-provoking interviews from industry leaders. Are you ready to transform your leadership skills by tapping into unrecognized potential to achieve limitless results? Let's get ready for liftoff. It's time to go from great to greater. Here's today's episode.
Hey folks, running an auto repair shop, it's tough. We know that. And between managing repairs, keeping customers happy, and handling front office tasks, there's never enough time in the day. That's where Hub Shop Solutions comes in. Hub takes the burden off your team by building fast, accurate repair estimates and handling extended warranties, so you can focus on what really matters, running a profitable, efficient shop. With Hub, you free up your team, you boost efficiency, and you increase profits. So sign up now and get free onboarding. Visit hubshopsolutions.com to schedule a demo today. Hub Shop Solutions. Unlock your shop's full potential. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Limitless Leadership Podcast. Before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all the things you need to on social media to help this podcast reach people and build leaders. You know that is our mission, to reach people and build leaders. And I'm joined in person today by a leader, a friend of mine, again, in person. So if you're listening, feel free to go to YouTube at The Bearded Leader to watch this episode. But I'm joined by a friend of mine. We met at church. He's the director of men's ministry. He has over 20 years of leadership experience as a firefighter. Our guest today is Brian Holasek. Brian, thanks for being here, man.
Hey, man, thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
Well, Brian, man, I'm pumped for our audience to get to know you. You and I are still getting to know each other, and I think we met probably about a year ago, and grabbed some coffee a couple times, and have learned a lot about each other and the background and kind of what got you here. And it's been a really inspiring story, to say the least. And so you have quite a journey to what you're doing now and how you're doing it. If you would, go ahead and share with the audience who you are, what you do, and how you do it.
Oh man, how I do it, I'm still figuring that part out, right? So who I am, Brian Holasek, man, I'm married for 16 years now almost with my wonderful wife, Lauren Holasek. We have two boys, Luke, which you have a Luke as well, which is really cool. Right. They're the same age, they hang out now. And he's into football, baseball, and then my youngest is Wyatt. He's into soccer. I spent 20 plus years in the fire service. Really took a lot of experience from there to get me where I'm at now. I never ceased going into ministry at all. Just took a lot of calls some really traumatic calls that took me through a very dark time. PTSD, depression, extremely bad. Almost got divorced. I don't know if you want to go into that or not, but it was extremely hard, which built me into the character that I am today, and how God kind of brought me into ministry. Yeah,
well, I'll say this, Brian. Whatever you feel comfortable sharing, go ahead. I mean, this is like I've heard your story to enough to know that this is very inspirational, and a lot of people go through things and don't know how to grow through things because they don't necessarily have the resources, or if we do have the resources, maybe we're not being resourceful. And you've learned a lot in your journey, and I think it's something that people can definitely benefit from. So if you would, and again, if you're comfortable, share some things that really got you out of a place. Like you got into a place that was dark, you said, and then things that you did or things that occurred that got you out of the place that you were in to get you to where you are now.
Yeah, man. So I can real quick snippets, man. The first 6-7 years in the fire service, I had a fatality around Christmas time. And so you can imagine now, afterwards, I never got excited about Christmas. Me being a Christian man, I was withholding from my boys and my wife of really experiencing what it meant to celebrate Christmas. And so it took a lot of traumatic calls, and I love trauma. Trauma was like, I'm a paramedic as well. So I was like, man, the worse you are, this sounds bad, the worse you are, the better I am at my job. A lot of firemen, a lot of police officers and paramedics, that's how we are. We're a different mindset. I was good to say like military personnel as well. Like the more chaos there is, the more we're effective in doing our job. Because if it's just a, I don't want to say boring Band-Aid type call, then we're just like, whatever, this kind of call again. And So yeah, God kind of used that. I don't want to say against me, but to help me step up and be a leader. He said, "Okay, you like trauma? Deal with this." And he gave me an 18-month-old girl who was killed tragically by a tree branch.
Wow.
In a very, very bad, traumatic way. And so relating with these guys that have PTSD, like when helicopters fly over, man, I get it because I was in contact with the pilot, made the LZ at the football stadium where my boy plays football, so it's really hard. You have those flashbacks. And yeah, man, just I turned to alcohol, turned to pornography. That's I think PTSD is overly diagnosed. I think some guys actually do have it, but I was just in denial. I was like, I don't have that. I can handle all my problems, and man, God would speak to me about 1:30 in the morning. He'd be like, "Yeah, how's that going for you? You're trying to handle all your stuff by yourself. You don't have brothers who are Christ-centered that are helping you walk through this. You're trying to handle all on your own. So let me know how that works for you. When you're done, then I'm going to put guys in your life when you're ready to be mature and step up and lead." Right. And so I was still a fireman at that time, and lieutenant on the fire truck, and man, just literally put the gun in my head and I was going to commit suicide because I was having bad dreams over and over and over, where it turned into me seeing my boys. I would see Lauren on these calls that I would go on. And I was just done, man. I was checked out because I had no idea how to handle it. I thought I was the only one going through it until I opened up and reached out to some friends, and they're like, "Man, you need to get help." I'm like, "Y'all don't know what you're talking about," and, woke up at 1:30 in the morning again, and I finally told Lauren, it took my wife being strong and having that foundation in Jesus Christ to pour into me and have the guts to say, literally, you need to man up and lead this family. Man, you want to talk about a gut check?
Yeah.
Like for your wife to just man, that was a sword just through my heart right there. Like for my wife, the one I love so much, but didn't realize that she was the punching bag, for lack of better terms, of what I was doing to them. Like I was taking out on anger, just verbally, never abusive, but just verbally, just not leading my family, right? Which overflowed. Like if I can't lead at my house, then I couldn't lead at the fire station, which I can't be a leader in this community.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
And so, gave it all up, seeked God, and he's like, "All right, now I got you exactly where I want you, and now I'm going to make you into the leader that I called you to be."
What was the first thing that you did? What was the first action you took, or the first step that you took in order to get out of that dark place? All right, folks, as you know, great leadership isn't about doing everything the best. It's actually about having the right partners in your corner to build your shop's success. It's about putting the right team in place. It's about choosing the right vendors to make you a pro, making pro moves. And when I think about the pros, I think about shop marketing pros. The know, like, and trust factor, that's a real thing. And Shop Marketing Pros understands that. That's why I want to recommend Shop Marketing Pros to become your marketing partner in your shop. They get to know, like, and trust you and your business to then help your audience get to know, like, and trust you too, and bring your shop to the next level. So when I talk about making pro moves, this is the kind of move I'm talking about. This is the kind of standard-setting partnership that's going to elevate your shop. So if you're ready to become a pro in your shop, visit shopmarketingpros.com and partner with the best.
Getting help.
Okay.
Going to therapy.
Okay.
Right. And it was hard because I had to go see a psychiatrist. And man, a lot of men don't want to hear that. Right. And getting put on medication. I mean, I remember getting put on meds and the guys tell me like, "Well, this is for like bipolar people, but don't see it that way. It's just for sleep." And like, dude, my mind went crazy. I'm like, man, is there something wrong with me? Like, what's wrong? And so I think that to me, that's why I relate with so many guys that don't want to open up, because they were like, "Oh, I got to take medicine." And what I want to tell them is like, if you had issues with your heart, right, you're going to go to a cardiologist, and they're probably going to put you on a performance plan to get healthier, but also put you on medication.
Yeah.
Your brain is no different.
Yeah.
Preach. It's no different, man. It's just, it's because we can see the outcome of it, like where our eyes are going and how we're carrying ourselves. That's just the results from that. So yeah, going to get help was one of the first things, which was, I literally, Josh, I pulled in the parking lot. I called Lauren and said, "This is stupid." And I put it in reverse. I remember I went over to the coffee shop and got a coffee, and she's like, "Brian, please go. If you love us, you'll go."
That's powerful.
Dude, man. Yeah.
Brian, I believe that we can level up in 5 different areas of our life, which is spiritually, physically, emotionally, academically, and financially. And I'm bringing these 5 up for a reason, because physically, we know how to level up. We can go work out. We can eat the right things and drink the right things. or not drink certain things or not eat certain things, right? And so there's a gym on every corner, it feels like, to level up physically. But our mind is our greatest asset. And mental health, thankfully, is no longer as much of a quote unquote taboo topic as it used to be. But it is critical to our overall success and our effectiveness as a leader for ourselves and subsequently our family and community and those around us, that we do level up in all 5 of these areas. And one of those that I mentioned was emotionally leveling up. And I can tell you that the greatest one of, if not the greatest investment I ever made was in myself when I hired a counselor for the first time. But I had a counselor before I had a coach. And so if you're listening, I mean, I think you probably heard me say, or you probably know that, well, first, I am a coach. So I'm a leadership coach in the industry, in the automotive repair industry, but I have my own coach as well. I work with a coach on a monthly basis, but I still get counseling on a monthly basis. I'm also married to a licensed counselor, so I get free counseling all the time, even when I don't want it.
Bad, probably, man.
Well, I'll tell you, the good news is, first of all, I need it, and secondly, she's great at it. But getting a counselor, going through therapy early on was something that I absolutely needed and didn't know it. And I remember thinking, well, I can't afford it. I can't afford a counselor because I wasn't making it a part of my budget. And I'll tell you, man, when I found my counselor, which I think is important to note, don't just go with the first person that you quote unquote interview, unless that person is effective for you. I think I interviewed probably 4 or 5 different counselors before I found the one who I felt comfortable and safe with. I think that's important, that you find someone who you feel safe with, who you can trust to speak truth into your life and share the blind spots you may not know that you have. But when I found that person, and through the first 2 or 3 sessions that we had, I went from I can't afford this to I can't not afford this.
Right. Well, and it might not be a counselor. For me, like, it's my brothers that I'm around, right? So with Jesus Christ being my ultimate like leader in my life, but also having men in my life, like some guys I disciple that are actually discipling me, we call them roof rippers. And so what I mean by that is in Mark chapter 5 is like, who are these guys took their friend who was paralyzed, put him on the roof. So think about your house right now, like a 2-story home. They got him on top of the roof, ripped through the shingles, broke through the wood, and lowered their friend down. So do you have those friends in your life, or are you being one of those friends in someone's life? Because if you're not either one, you need to check your priorities.
That's so good. A roof ripper. Yeah. I love that.
Not my words, man. My brother Zach Danford told me that one. It might be for someone else. So he didn't want to claim it either. But
well, I love the analogy.
Have roof rippers in your house, in your life, man.
Yeah.
And stop being. I call them soft belly Christians, but we can get into that later.
We can get into it right now if you want. Soft belly Christians. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. So not my words either. Again, those are 2 things right now that are heavy on my heart of having roof ripper friends, right? Someone that's going to actually tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, right? When they're saying like, hey, did you mean an idiot, right? And then the soft belly Christians are, to me, guys that just show up every Sunday but don't apply what they're learning. They show up just to a men's breakfast and don't apply what they're learning from that. Or they go to a men's study and they get all this stuff for 5 weeks and like, all right, that was cool. Well, then you're not applying it. So then you wonder why your marriage is crap or your work relationship with others is crap.
Yeah.
You know? And so like, it's time to stop just sitting in the audience and start applying what you're learning.
That's so good. Right? That's so good. You know, we are inundated with information these days. We can get information at the click of a mouse. Yeah. So the resources are out there, but again, are we being resourceful? I'll ask you, Brian, what advice would you give to someone who is listening right now? And keep in mind, the majority of our audience is in the automotive repair industry. Right. This is a blue collar industry. They work long, grinding hours. Like this is most independent shops, most shops, a lot of the listeners are from independent shops, but most shops are working at least 50 hours a week. Right. But in most cases, it's hard work, man. It's closer to 60.
Yeah.
And so we're talking about 60-hour work weeks. We are with our families, with our team members more than our own families in most cases. What advice would you give to someone who might be feeling alone or might be feeling like they're struggling with something that no one else is? They're challenged by things that they feel like they're on an island for, and so they're kind of finding themselves sinking into this dark place. What advice would you give to some, just one step, like one action to take?
I would say be bold and get with your supervisor and ask what our purpose is here.
Okay.
Because if they don't have a clear expectation of what they're doing, they just see that they're just turning wrenches. And if you're a manager or a leader out there right now and your employee comes back saying, man, all we're doing is turning wrenches, you're not casting vision very well for them. Because I would all the time, we would have mechanics that work on our fire trucks. And I told one guy one time, like, you don't realize how big of a difference you're making on us responding to calls, because if we don't have this apparatus to respond to their home, to respond to a house fire, then we're useless.
Yeah.
So you make a huge difference. Just because I'm on the front line and people see me, you're on the front line as well, fixing these vehicles. And so these people that are out there working on these cars, the person that you're working on the car for, what do they do for a living? That's how you need to start getting that mindset of, what is this person needs this vehicle to what? It might be a single mother that is taking her child to school so he can get a better education to get it, or a father that is a police officer, that whatever it may be, right? So just think about the long-term effects of, it's that whole ripple effect. Like, yeah, this small little action is going to lead to a huge event. So it's getting that mom her car, or her dad, or whatever it may be. Like, just, man, don't see your job as just something minute. So be bold and getting with your supervisor. Like, what is our vision for working here?
I love that. When the why is clear, the how is easy. And if you don't know your why, this is an opportunity to gain clarity and direction. Like, I firmly believe that we get to, as leaders, create two things so that we can provide two things. We get to create safety and trust so that we can provide clarity and direction. And if you think about it, clarity and direction, those two things, for any job that you've either left or lost, it's very likely that you didn't have both clarity and direction. And so if you don't have either one of those, or in some cases, both of those, imagine the disengagement that this employee at your shop or at your place of business, whoever's listening, imagine the type of disengagement that your employee is having. Because statistically speaking, 70% of team members or employees are disengaged. So when we talk about, and Brian, you and I talked about this before we went live, connection creates engagement, and engagement is what increases performance. Can you speak to the importance of connecting with team members so that the performance, and again, you're not doing it for the performance, like, you're doing it because you genuinely care about this person and you know how important connection is. Right. But the good thing is the byproduct is an increase in performance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The connection for me, man, some of the best officers I ever worked for were the ones that asked me, how's your home life? How's your wife? How's your kids? Mm-hmm. And for your audience listening right now, if you're in that position where you have people under you, if I ask you right now, could you write down all their wives' names? Could you write down their kids' names? Because if you can't, and I know some of you might have a lot, but that means you're out of your span of control. You need to get another manager in there, or another leader.
Yeah.
And so if you cannot tell me your workers, their name of their spouse or their kids, you're not engaged enough with them.
Yeah.
And so how are you expected for them to care about this job when you don't ask them about their home life? Because they're not leading at home, they cannot lead in the floor.
That's so good.
At the mechanic shop, yeah.
So good.
And I don't care what level it is, whether it's the new guy or your senior guy on the floor, man, just show that you care about their family.
Yeah.
It was never about, hey man, how'd you think about this job that we had? It was all about, hey, how's Lauren and the boys?
Yeah.
How are they doing? Man, that spoke volumes to me. And actually getting out there, and we would clean the bay floors every single morning just about in the fire service. In my career, I'll admit I didn't do it very much. I was a senior guy, so I kind of pulled that card a little bit, which was horrible leadership on my part. So I'll admit that. But the white shirts, the chiefs that came out and actually squeegeed the floor with us, or our lieutenants that came out, I had so much more respect for them. Even the whole crew did, because they didn't forget where they came from.
Yeah, that's so good, man. That truly is the idea of leadership, where you're leading people. It's the person before the process. It's the person before the profit. It's the name before the job title. It's connection before content. Mm-hmm. I'll ask you, Brian, in your own words, what does leadership mean to you?
Yeah, so I knew you were going to ask me that question after watching some of your podcasts, and I kept going back and forth of, it's someone that's on the front lines, just the cliche, the typical answer. But for me, a leader is someone who's not scared to fail and admit that they failed and show their flaws in front of their men. And letting them know, like, hey, it's okay to fail. Because in my mindset, man, if I'm not failing, I'm not learning. Because if everything's going smooth and you get complacent, and you're never going to advance. Yeah. So I have to fail. Take those risks to get out there and take a chance on your guys. Like, if you see a future leader in your crew, give them a task, or give her a task. Like, hey, I want you to do this, and be okay with them failing.
Yes, that's so good. Yeah, I mean, it's the concept of failing forward and understanding that the most successful people are the ones who are going to make mistakes. They're going to fail along the way. But when we fail at something, it doesn't make us a failure. If we lose, it doesn't make us a loser. So these actions don't become our identities. And we have to remember that you're going to go through things and grow through things, but the growth comes from falling down. It's the Japanese proverb, fall down 7 times, get back up 8. Yeah. It's that concept. Right.
And for me, like, following Jesus Christ, like, he was the ultimate leader in my books, if you ask me. I mean, by far.
Yeah.
But look how he did it. at first he would go out and show his disciples on what to do first, right? So I do, you watch. Okay. He shows them, and now we're going to do it together. So doing the task together. And then once you achieve that, okay, now it's your turn to go.
Yeah.
Now you go out and you go do it. So if you're not showing your men and women how to do a job, you're setting them up for failure.
Yeah.
You're setting your whole entire company up for failure.
So you're touching on one of, in my opinion, the three most important, the three biggest opportunity areas that a lot of companies are failing to capture, which are effective onboarding, proper training, and consistent coaching. And proper training, what you're touching on is how Jesus trained and led his people, and those became disciples, and they started discipling others, which I want to get into as well, because you and I talked about a pretty awesome topic beforehand. But to me, and this is what, even in my training that I share with clients, it's the MAWL training method, MAWL. You model, assist, watch, and then you launch. Yeah. And that's really what he was doing. Talk to the audience about, you and I had a conversation before we went live on the opportunity to influence people, knowing that you're going to start small. You don't have to focus on the larger scale, on the numbers, but when you can effectively influence a couple people, and then those two people can influence others, I'm not going to keep on going. I want you to go ahead and take this from me, but go ahead and touch on that.
Yeah, man, I wish we were recording earlier. That was such a good conversation. But for me, what would you rather have? Would you rather have 300 men show up and then forget what you talked about, or have 3 men show up and then go on and teach 3 other men, and then they go teach 3 other men? For me, I want those 3 men. So it's not about the numbers, it's about who's listening. Yeah. And so the 300 men that are just coming to check the box, man, stay at home. Don't waste my time. But the 3 men that are like, man, I want to learn, and then I'm going to apply this later on. Yeah. Give me those guys.
This is also why, anytime I do a training, I've actually started to mandate coaching beyond the training. And what I mean by that is, if I'm doing a training for a shop, if I'm doing a training for a team, the fortune is in the follow-up. And what I mean by that is 70% of training is forgotten in 24 hours, 90% is forgotten in just a week. So there has to be follow-up coaching beyond the training. Because at training, they're going to get a lot of knowledge, but if they don't take action, it just becomes information. Right. But if they get knowledge and take action with a coach to drive and reinforce the knowledge that was shared, that's exponential growth. And I see it. Like, I see it across Limitless Leadership. I mean, this is why we're doing well with clients. I'll say that. This is not about beating my chest. Like, this is a thankfully we've been very effective with a lot of clients, and it's because they get the knowledge, they take action, and they see immediate results.
Yeah. And when in the events that you put on, I would ask, like, why are you here? Like with Mission 419 that we're launching, I asked every guy, and I'm stealing this from a XCC challenge that we went to, so it's not my words. But anyways, they asked us on this hiking trip, why are you here? This was like 9:30 at night, and we had to hike in 6 more miles. And they said, don't say a word to anybody, but while you're hiking, I want you to ask God, why are you here? And for me, it was like, I'm just here to have fun, Well, no, that's not a good answer. So then taking that time to really think about, man, why am I here? Why did I just drive 6 hours to go on a hiking trip with some brothers that I thought it was just going to be great, but it's turning into me getting my butt handed to me, right? My why was like, I want to become a better man. I want to become a better leader. I want to become a better father. Yeah. So having the folks listening to this, like, ask your workers, why are you here? Why are you turning wrenches?
That's good. I love that. You're touching on, I think that there are 3 different types of training attendees that I get in a training, which is your hostage, your vacationer, and your sponge. And so when I asked the question, and I haven't actually asked that direct question, I've asked a similar question in regards to helping people understand when the why is clear, the how is easy. So understanding what their purpose is, because purpose is going to trump motivation any day of the week. But if I were to ask that question, hey, why are you here? I would imagine that the hostage would say, well, it's because my shop owner sent me.
Yeah. Probably 90% of your conversation. Yeah.
And so it's answers. Like, so they're sitting like this, my arms are crossed. If you're not watching this episode, if you're listening, my arms are crossed, kind of sitting back in my chair. And I don't really want to be here, but I have to be here. And then your vacationer is like, I don't know, the answer would probably be something like, I'm not sure yet, but I'll find out. Yeah. I'm out of my environment. I might take notes. I might not take notes. And your sponge is like, I'm here because I want to learn. Yep. I want to soak it all in. Yep. And it's fun to do a training, because very quickly I see the hostages converting to sponges, and I see the vacationers suddenly getting more active in the note taking. And that's the same kind of concept. If you can share the why, and if you can bring enough influence and energy to your leadership, man, it's infectious.
Yeah. Well, and you're correct. And I think the first guy is more like your forced family fun guy. Like they're being told to get him here. It's like, oh, forced family fun, right? But also the guys that are taking the notes, that's a good thing. Let me back up a little bit. Your first guy does a cancer. He's a cancer within the workplace. And so if he's doing that at training, he's doing that in the shop, he will take down that whole entire company if you're not careful. And so if you have that cancer, then what do doctors do? You got to operate and remove them. And that's really hard because that might be a good family friend or a brother. But like, man, if they're going to have that type of attitude in that environment and you're trying to make and raise leaders, you got to cut the fat, man.
One bad apple can ruin a bunch.
Yep.
So Brian, you're touching on essentially the conditions of a team member and the conditions of an environment now because of a team member. So let's get into what you shared with me. This is some information that I gained from you, some knowledge I gained from you, which I'm forever grateful for. At the first time we met for coffee, you talked about a CAN report, CAN. And so I'm going to ask that you share with our audience what a CAN report is and how it's a valuable tool to coach and shepherd your team.
Right. So within the fire service, every house fire we go on or a major event, we ask for a CAN report, conditions, actions, and needs. And so inside a house fire, the chiefs are calling us on the radio, say, hey, give me a CAN report. Hey, the conditions, it's really smoky. Right now we're pulling ceiling, and my needs right now, I need a fan at the front door. Right. So I'm communicating back out to the chief, and then he's going to communicate to ventilation team or someone else out there. So taking my experience as a fireman, and then how do I apply that to the leadership mindset of outside of the fire service, small groups, if you have any kind of team, you can ask them for a CAN report. I always go back to their home life. Like, what's the condition of your home life? What's the condition of your marriage? What actions are you taking right now to make it better? Are you going to marriage counseling? Are you seeking out other brothers for their advice? And then what needs do you need from me? So in my position at the church, we have a lot of resources. And so I asked our small group leaders, like, hey, give me a CAN report. How's your small group going? What actions are you taking right now to make it feel a safe environment? What actions are you taking to help this couple walk through their issues, right? And then what do you need from me? And then they're like, hey, no, we're good. So just a simple, it could be a 30-second, hey, feedback is usually what it is in the fire service. Hey, give me your CAN report. For our small groups, hey, just send me a quick, like one to two paragraphs, like, hey, how's your group going?
I love that. So let me ask you this: how, in terms of the cadence, like how often are you asking for a CAN report?
Once a month.
Once a month. Okay. Yep. Very good.
And you can do that every week if you like.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're really going through some issues, if there's troubles going on within a small group, I'll follow up a little more with those people. But majority of the time, everyone's pretty solid, and it's once a month. Just say, hey, how are you guys doing?
So here's a question for you, because I encourage, typically with the automotive repair industry, shop size, it varies. I mean, I have clients with as little as 3 employees in a shop and as much as 70. So pretty large shops compared to very small shops, but for the most part, a suggested cadence in terms of one-on-ones, I typically recommend every couple weeks, every other week. Yeah. Now, if I were to, and by the way, when I talk about one-on-ones, a lot of us have this misconception that a one-on-one is, I'm going to schedule this one-on-one for you, Brian. I'm an employer, you're an employee. Mm-hmm. I schedule it for you, and I get in the one-on-one and tell you all the things I think you need to hear, which is not the case. No. One-on-ones are for your voice to be heard, for your opinions to matter, and for your ideas to be considered. Yeah. If I'm having one-on-ones every 2 weeks, would I do the CAN report every 2 weeks or still do it once a month?
I would do it every single time.
Okay, excellent. Every time there's a kind of that intimate one-on-one connection.
Yeah, I mean, even with the guys I disciple, just a phone call, I'm like, hey man, how you doing?
Good. Okay.
What actions are you doing to take it better? And then what do you need from me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would ask them every single time. And if you're making about like a performance evaluation, and you and I both know,
thank you,
we don't like those.
It's not a it's not a review. Like there's a time and place for reviews, like a performance review. Yeah. But it's not during a one-on-one.
No, you have to make it relational. So you have to have that relationship with that employee and just let them know, like, hey man, I really care about you, and just like, what is your home life first, and then how's it going around work here? Yeah. How's your relationship with all the crew? So
good, man. Okay, so here's a question I love to ask. What's the best advice you've ever received from a coach or a mentor?
Oh man, that's a good question. You need to give me a bigger heads up on that one. I would say, don't take on more than don't take on more than what you can handle.
Okay.
Because at first, man, going into ministry, for example, I was on fire. I was like, I want to start this. I want to do this and this and this and this. And it took Pastor Bob Reed saying, hey, slow down. Slow down. And then reading another book called Pastoring Men by Patrick Morley. I can send that to you later on. But anyways, it's talked about just don't take on too much, right? Because how effective are you going to be when you have 10 projects going on? Right?
That's
You're
good.
just skimming the surface and you're not going to be really that effective. But if you take on one or two, man, you can give it 100%.
It's interesting because we as humans think that we're good multitaskers, but we're really not.
No, not until you start doing it.
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
there's some out there that can do that, and hey, good for them. But majority for all the guys I've met, man, more than 2 or 3 projects, and we're sinking.
yeah, I mean, I think it's possible to give 100 on maybe a couple projects, but to give 100 on 8 to 10, it's just it's unlikely. I'll say that.
Yeah, but also like do you have leaders behind you to take on that role? Like say you start this project, but then I know like, hey, this guy's really good at working on X, Y, Z. I'm going to put him over this. Like I started it, but I want him to be the intentional leader over this.
That's
and
good.
I'll just oversee it.
He can be the executor,
100%.
Have that tenacity behind it.
Yep.
Well, let me ask you this: you got 20 years of leadership experience in the fire service. Think about a lot of advice that you used to give to your team members. What's one common piece of advice that you would give to folks who you were trying to grow and develop and lead?
Oh man,
This is me asking you. You tell me what's the best advice you can give or maybe best advice you can give to the audience listening.
and you're like the rookie, or
Sure. Yeah.
be a sponge.
Okay.
God gave you 2 ears and 2 eyes for a reason.
Yeah.
Like he wants you to see and listen more than speak.
Okay. Love that. Which
Some
Brian.
people won't like hearing that, man.
Well, you're right.
Just be a sponge. Literally, like just soak up not just all the good things, but learn from people's mistakes, right? So you're being a sponge, like, okay, don't do that because here are the results. So you have wisdom and consequences. Wisdom tells me I'm going to listen to those guys. The consequences are if I go apply that now, then I'm going to have the same results.
Man, this is so good. So how important is it for a leader to take that advice and recognize that you don't have to give directive after directive after directive? You may not be providing clarity and direction just because you're giving directives. How important is it for a leader to listen to that advice that you just shared?
Well, how bad do you want your crew to grow?
I love that. Like most of your answers is a question back because you understand the importance of asking questions. So this is good.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, Brian, any parting words of wisdom? You just talked about wisdom and consequences. Any parting words of wisdom for the listening audience?
Man, I don't right now. No.
Okay.
Parting words, man, just don't be scared to fail as a leader. And then admitting that in front of the guys, don't hide it. But in front of your crew, the male and females, like just let them know, like, yeah, I failed.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm gonna learn from it. And then we're gonna learn as a crew, like, hey, don't do this. Or
Awesome.
hey, here's what worked great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna put you on the spot. I just put you on the spot, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it again.
That's okay.
And so I don't even know if you're comfortable with this, but I will ask you because I want to highlight and honor every guest that comes on this show. And I thought you brought a lot of just a wealth of knowledge, a lot of great information. And my hope and quite frankly my prayer is that there's somebody listening who maybe they're like, you know what, I'm kind of tired of hearing that Josh guy, but Brian like really shared a lot that resonated with me. If you're willing to allow the audience to reach out to you,
Absolutely.
how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah. So Brian at scilifechurch.com. That's CYLIFE and then church.com. And yeah.
Excellent.
Or Brian Holasek at Gmail, either one.
Okay. Brian, it's Brian with an I, and then Holasek is HOLASEK. Brian Holasek at Gmail or Brian at scilifechurch.com. Excellent. Yeah. Well, Brian, hey man, thanks for being here. This will not be your last time on the Limitless Leadership Podcast.
Oh man, I'm honored to be here.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. As you know, every episode we look to transform our leadership skills by tapping into unrecognized potential to achieve limitless results. So thanks again for tuning in. Have a great day, everyone. Don't forget to smile today. Don't forget to tell your loved ones how much they mean to you as well. I'm Josh Parnell, reminding you to keep leading well.